Good morning. Today's topic, collision theory of reaction rate and transitional state theory, followed by the important problems, theoretical as well as entrance purpose problems in kinetics. First of all, collision theory. Generally, in a chemical reaction, reactants are converted into products. During the chemical reaction, the reactant molecules are collide with each other. During the collisions between the reactant molecule, old bonds between the reactant molecules are broken. Simultaneously, new bonds between the products are formed. Here, to explain the rate of reaction based on collision theory, it is also called Lindman's theory. The rate of reaction can be successfully explained by collision theory of reaction rates. The main postulates of this collision theory is, for a chemical reaction occurring, during the chemical reaction, the reactant molecules must collide with each other. Second point, during the collisions between these reacting molecule, the existing bonds between the reactant molecules are broken and new bonds are formed between the products. Here, third point, all these collisions do not form products because all collisions are not fruitful collisions. Only the fruitful collisions are causes for the chemical reaction. Here, the fruitful collisions means the collisions occur between the reactant molecules which are having threshold energy are called fruitful collisions, or then these collisions can causes for the chemical reaction. Here the threshold energy means the minimum amount required to the reactant molecules to get the fruitful collisions are called threshold energy. It is denoted with ET. Collisions between the molecules having threshold energy are called fruitful collisions, which only lead to the chemical reaction. The energy difference between the threshold energy and energy of normal molecule, the average energy of the normal molecule is called activation energy. Means here the activation energy can also explain the additional energy required to the reactant molecules to attain threshold energy is also called activation energy. It is denoted with EA, that is EA equal to threshold energy minus average energy of the reactant molecule. Here, based on this collision theory, we can derive the rate constant for bimolecular reactions. That is the frequency factor. Here, to explain bimolecular gaseous reactions using collision theory, let us consider a reactions involving two similar molecules. That is A plus A, it gives rise to products. According to law of mass action, the rate of reaction is directly proportional to the product of the concentration of the reactants. That is, rate of this reaction R is directly proportional to N whole to the power of 2, because two reactants are participated, two similar. Therefore, R is directly proportional to concentration of N power 2. That is, R equal to K into N square is equation number 1, where K is called rate constant. N equal to N0 of reacting molecules per milliliter. Here, following collision theory, the rate of reaction is equal to the number of activated collisions taking place in a unit time. According to collision theory, the rate of reaction R is equal to the number of activated collisions taking place in a unit time. That is, R equal to Z into e to the power of minus EA by RT, where Z is the number of collisions in a unit volume in a unit time. EA is an activation energy. Here, from equation 1 and 2, both are equal. That is, Kn square equal to Z into e to the power of minus EA by RT, or K equal to Z by N square into e to the power of minus EA by RT. Here, following kinetic theory of gaseous molecule, the collision number Z equal to 4n square sigma square into pi RT by M whole to the power of half, where sigma is collision diameter, M is the molecular weight. By substituting Z value in the equation number 3, that is K equal to 4n square sigma square into pi RT by M whole to the power of half by N square into e to the power of minus EA by RT. That implies K equal to, where your like terms gets cancelled, that is N square, here 4 sigma square into pi RT by M whole to the power of half into A e to the power of minus EA by RT. Here that implies again K equal to A into e to the power of minus EA by RT. It is called Arrhenius equation, which can express the temperature effect on rate of the reaction. Here this equation is also called Arrhenius equation. In this equation, A is a frequency factor that equal to 4 sigma square into pi RT by M whole to the power of half. EA is an activation energy, then T is a temperature. That is the derivation of rate constant for bimolecular reactions. It is also called frequency factor. That is A equal to, or K equal to A into e to the power of minus EA by RT. It is also called a Arrhenius equation. Here, according to collision theory, during the chemical reaction, the reactant molecules are collide with each other. During the collisions between the reactant molecule, the molecules which are collide with each other with a proper orientation will give the fruitful collisions. For example, it is explained by orientation factor. Here, according to this factor is that the colliding molecule should have proper orientation so that the old bonds may break and the new bonds are formed. If the reacting molecules are oriented in proper way, during the collisions, the old bonds between the reactant molecules are broken. Simultaneously, new bonds between the products are formed. But the reacting molecules which are improper orientation during the collisions, the bonds between the reactant molecules doesn't broken. Simultaneously, the bonds between the products are doesn't formed. Therefore, here the orientation factor is more important for effective collisions. Here, this factor is that colliding molecules should have proper orientation so that the old bonds may break and the new bonds are formed. The reaction between hydrogen and iodine takes place only when the molecules possessing threshold energy or mode energy collide with proper orientation. The molecules which do not have proper orientation at the time of collision do not form product molecule. For example, here hydrogen H2 molecule combines with iodine I2 molecule. Here improper orientation, ineffective collisions occur, then they rebound with the same orientation. Means in that process, the old bonds between the reactant molecules doesn't broken. Simultaneously, new bonds between the products are doesn't formed. But these hydrogen molecule in the proper orientation or effective collisions are occur by the proper orientation of the reacting molecule, that is hydrogen H2 molecule combines with the I2 molecule. During the effective collisions are occur during the chemical reaction, effective collisions are occur by proper orientation of the reacting molecule. Here, the proper orientation of reacting molecule during the collision, here the old bonds between these reactant molecules are broken. Simultaneously, the new bonds between the products are formed. That is, the results predicted by using the equation are in agreement with the experimental observation which support the validity of collision theory. Next, second theory is the transitional state theory, or it can also call absolute reaction rate theory or activated complex theory. Here, in the collision theory, during the chemical reaction, the reactant molecules are collide with each other. During the collisions, the old bonds between the reactant molecules are broken. Simultaneously, new bonds between the products are formed. But in the transitional state theory or in the absolute reaction rate theory, during the chemical reaction, the molecules do not directly converted into the products, but they are first transferred into an intermediate energy rich activated complex or transitional state having only a transient existence. The activated complex subsequently break up to produce the products. The rate of reaction depends upon the decomposition of the activated complex, which determines the rate of the reaction. Means the main important concept of this activated complex theory is during the chemical reaction, the reactant molecules doesn't directly converted into products. First, it is converted into the activated state, that is transitional state, which decomposes to give product. Here, the activated complex having high energy that may be either decomposed to give products, or it can also decompose it to give reactants. But the rate of reaction is depends upon the decomposition of transitional state into the products. That is, here the reactants, first it is converted into activated complex. This activated complex is again decomposed to give products. Means the rate is depends upon the decomposition of the activated complex into products. Same example, hydrogen iodide plus hydrogen iodide. Here during this transitional state theory, they are collide with each other, that is HiIH. There is a transitional state is obtained. This transitional state is highly unstable, having maximum activation energy. It decomposes to give either reactants or it decomposes to give products. Therefore, the activation energy of reaction with reference to this theory is defined as the additional energy which the reactant molecules must acquire to form the intermediate activated complex. Means generally during the chemical reaction, the minimum amount of energy required to the reactant molecules to participate in the chemical reaction is called, that is, threshold energy. All molecules doesn't have threshold energy, then some molecules are having less than threshold energy with a average energy. Such type of molecules are required to the additional energy to attain threshold energy to causes for the fruitful collisions. Means the threshold energy molecular collisions are fruitful collisions. They can form the intermediate transitional state, that is called activated complex, which is having maximum activation energy. It may be either decomposed to give either reactants or products, but the rate of reaction is directly proportional to the rate of decomposition of the transitional state into the products. Here the activation energy of the reaction with reference to this theory is defined as the additional energy which the reactant molecules must acquire to form the intermediate activated complex. Here from the graph plotted between the energy versus reaction pattern, here the initial stage, the small fall in potential energy, that is in the reactant molecule initial stage, there is a small fall in the potential energy of the reactant. This is believed to be due to approach of the reactant molecules close to one another. Before reacting to form the activated complex, similarly in the final stage there is a small rise in the energy of the products, which is due to the falling a part of the product molecule after the reaction. Here now, since the products possess higher energy than the reactant, the reaction will be endothermic. Here that is, the products possess higher energy. The products are possess higher energy than the reactants. The reaction will be endothermic. In such reactions, the activation energy of the back reaction will always be less than that of the forward reaction. The activation energy of the back reaction means the additional energy which the product molecules must acquire to form a activated complex. Here the same diagram can explain initially the small fall in the energy in the reactant molecule. During the collisions, then the molecules which are having threshold energy, means the additional energy required to the reactant molecules to attain threshold energy. means it form a activated complex. This activated complex may reconverted into either reactants or it can also converted into the products. But the rate of reaction is depends upon the rate of decomposition of the activated complex into products. That is about the activated complex theory or transitional state theory. Next, here the main important problems for the kinetics. Here actually in the flow sheet, when the 100% reactants are participated in a chemical reaction, when the reaction is not started means T is equal to 0, the obtained product concentration X is 0. But according to half-life period, the time required for conversion of half of the reactants into products is called half-life period. Here from this flow sheet, when the reactants concentration 50, products concentration 50, the time required T is equal to T half. Again, second half-life time, 25% reactants left, 75% products are obtained. The time required T75 equal to 2 T half. Similarly, then third half-life time, that is 12.5% reactants are left, 87.5% are products are obtained. The time required T87.5 equal to 3 T half. Similarly, fourth half-life time, 6.25% reactants are left, then 93.75% products are obtained. The time required T93.75 equal to 4 T half. Similarly, 3.125% reactants are left, 96.875% products are obtained. The time required T96.875% equal to 5 T half. Similarly, 1.1% reactants left, 99.9% of products are obtained. The time required T99.9 equal to 10 T half. The same thing can be shown or derived from the problems. That is, show that in case of first order reaction, the time taken for completion of 99.9% of the reaction is 10 times of its half-life period. To prove that the time required for completion of 99.9% of the reaction is equal to the 10 times of its half-life time, first let initial concentration is 100%. In first case, the substance reacted is 99.9. Here according to the first order rate constant equation, K1 equal to 2.303 by T into log A by A minus X, or T equal to 2.303 by K1 into log A by A minus X, where substitute A 100, A minus X is 100 minus 99.9, that is 0.1. That is T 99.9 equal to 2.303 by K1 log 100 by 0.1. That can be written as T 99.9 equal to 2.303 by K1 into 3 is an equation number 1. In another case, means in the second case, the substance reacted is 50%. The reactant left A minus X is 50. While substituting the value in above first order rate constant equation, the T 50% or T half equal to 2.303 by K1 into log 100 by 50, or that is T50 equal to, that is 2.303 by K1 into 0.3010 is equation number 2. Divide equation 1 with 2, that is T 99.9 by T50 equal to 2.303 by K1 into 50, that is 3, whole by 2.303 into 0.3010 by K1. That implies T 99.9 by T50 equal to 3 by 0.3, that is 10 T99.9 by T50 equal to 10 or T99.9 equal to 10 T of. Means the time required for completion of 99.9% of the reaction is equal to 10 times of its half-life time. It is the important one here in the entrance problem. For example, in the entrance purpose, the half-life period of a first order reaction is 30 minutes, for example. Calculate the time required for completion of 99.9% of the reaction. Means according to this relation, that is T99.9 equal to 10 T of, where T of is 30 minutes. Therefore, T99.9 equal to 10 into 30, that is 300 minutes. Simply, we can done within the seconds by using this relation. Next one is, another relation is, while show that the time taken for completion of 99.9% of the first order reaction is 3 times of time required for completion of the 90% of the reaction. That is again same relation. First time required for completion of 99.9%, T99.9 equal to 2.303 by K1 into log, that is 3 by the lot is log 3 or into 3. Then second case, 2.303 by T1 log A by A minus X is equal to 2.303 by T2 into log A by A minus X. First here, 1 by time T99.9 log 100 by 0.1 equal to 1 by T90 log 100 by 10. Whereas 1 by T99.9 into log 1000 equal to 1 by T90 into 1. That is 10. Log 10 equal to 1. Whereas log 10 cube by T99.9 equal to 1 by T90, or 3 by T99.9 equal to 1 by T90. That implies T99.9 equal to 3T90. Means the time required for completion of 99.9% of the reaction is equal to the 3 times of time required for completion of the 90% of the reaction. Next, another problem. Show that the half-life period of a first order reaction is independent of the initial concentration of the reactants. That is, first in the first order rate constant equation, K1 equal to 2.303 by T into log A by A minus X. Substitute where A equal to 100, X equal to 50. Simultaneously, A minus X equal to 100 minus 50, 50. Here K1 equal to 2.303 by T of log 100 by 50. That implies K1 equal to 2.303 by T of into 0.3010. That implies K1 equal to 0.693 by T of, or T of equal to 0.693 by K1. Here the half-life period of first order reaction is independent of the initial concentration of the reactants. Next, here another problem. 90% of first order reaction is completed in 100 minutes. How much reaction is completed in 200 minutes? Simply here, from the relation between the T99.9 equal to 3T90. Similarly, T99 equal to 2T90. 2T90 means the time required for completion of 99% of the reaction is equal to the 2 times of time required for completion of the 90% of the reaction. Same thing can be explained by doing the problem. That is, first initial concentration A is 100, X is 90, A minus X is 100 minus 90, 10. Here according to first order rate constant equation, K1 equal to 2.303 by T into log A by A minus X, whereas K1 equal to 2.303 by 100 into log 100 by 10. That equal to K1 equal to 0.02303 into 1 or 0.02303. But in the second case, T equal to 2.303 by K into K1 into log A by A minus X, where T is 200 minutes, A is 100, find out the X value here. Here 200 equal to 2.303 by 0.02303 log 100 by 100 minus X. That implies log 100 by 100 minus X equal to 200 into 0.02303 by 2.303. That is log 100 by 100 minus X is equal to. That implies 100 by 100 minus X is equal to anti-log of 2. That is 100 by 100 minus X is equal to 10 to the power of 2. Whereas 100 equal to 100 into 100 minus X. That is 100 minus X equal to 1. X equal to 100 minus 1. That implies X is equal to 99. Means that is T99.9 equal to 2T90. Means the time required for completion of 99.9% of the reaction is equal to the 2 times of time required for completion of 90% of the reaction. Next, the same thing can be explained by doing the problem. Here, show that the first order reaction, the time taken for completion of 99% is 2 times of its 90% of the reaction. That is 2.303 by T1 log A by A minus X is equal to 2.303 by T2 log A by A minus X. That implies 2.303 by T90 log 100 by 100 minus 99 equal to 2.303 by T90 into log 100 by 100 minus 90. That implies 1 by T99% into log 100 by 1 equal to 1 by T90 into log 100 by 10. That is 2 by T99% equal to 1 by T90 or T99 equal to 2T90. That is the time taken for completion of 99% is 2 times of time required for completion of the 90% of the reaction. Next here, another problem, the 20% of first order reaction is completed in 50 minutes. Then what is the concentration of reactants at 150 minutes and how much reaction is completed? Here, based on the problem, here that is 100% reactants are in which the 20% is completed in 50 minutes, means the left out reactants are 80% in the 50 minutes time. Similarly, among the 80% of the reactants, the 20% is completed. 20% of reaction is completed in another 50 minutes. Means that is 80 into the 80 into 0.2 or 80 into 20 by 5, that is 16% products are converted. Means the left out reactants are 80 minus 16, that is 64% of reactants are left. Again, here for third step of reaction, here 64% is the initial concentration. Among this 64% percentage or 64 initial concentration, the 20% reaction is completed in 50 minutes. That is 64 into 20 by 100, that equal to here generally 12.8% reaction is completed. Means 12.8 products are obtained. Means the left out reactants are 64 minus 12.8, that equal to 51.2. Here at 150 minutes, the concentration of reactants are equal to 51.2%. The concentration of products obtained is 48.8%. Next, in a first order reaction, the slope log A minus X versus time is minus 0.301 minutes inverse. Then half-life of the reaction is slope equal to minus K1 by 2.303, that is minus 0.301 into 1 equal to minus K1 by 2.303. In first order reaction, T of equal to 0.693 by K1, whereas T of equal to 0.693 by 0.693, that is T of equal to 1 minute, or that equal to 60 minutes. Again, the rate constant of a first order reaction is at 57 degrees centigrade is 2.3 into 10 to the power of minus 2 second inverse. What is its half-life time? The relation between the half-life time and first order rate constant, T of equal to 0.693 by K1. Substitute here K1 value, T of equal to 0.693 by 2.3 into 10 to the power of minus 2. That is equal to 3.0 into 10 to the power of minus 3 seconds is the half-life time. Next, prove that for a chemical reaction A gives rise to X, the following data is obtained. Time, concentration of reactants at different time intervals. At 0, concentration of reactants is 50.6. After 900 minutes, 19.7 left. After 1800 minutes, 7.62% left. Prove that the reaction is first order. Here generally, according to that is integration method, while substitution of the concentration of reactants at different time intervals, the constant which obtained regularly as constant value, then it shows the order of the reaction. Here, to prove the first order reaction, these values are substituted in the first order rate constant equation, that is K1 equal to 2.303 by T log A by A minus X. Whereas in the first case, after 900 seconds time, the left out reactants are 50, initial concentration is 50.6, the left out reactant C minus X is 19.7. Here, substitution of these values in above rate constant equation, K1 equal to 2.303 by 900 into log 50.6 by 19.7, that equal to 0.00105 second inverse. Similarly, in the case 2, after 1800 seconds, the initial concentration is 50.6, the left out reactants concentration is 7.62. Substitute the value in the same first order rate constant equation, that is K1 equal to 2.303 by 1800 into log 50.6 by 7.62, whereas K1 equal to 0.00105 second inverse. These two constants obtained are same at different time intervals. Therefore, the given reaction is first order. Next, it is another type. In concentration of reactants is increased by 2 times, the rate of the reaction is increased by 4 times. What is the order of the reaction? First, initial concentration A1 equal to A. When the concentration is increased by 4 times, that is A1 equal to A, A2 equal to 2A. increased by 2 times. The rate is increased by 4 times. Means R1 equal to R, R2 equal to 4R. Find out the order of the reaction. Here, according to fractional life method, or that is half-life method, n equal to log R1 by R2 by log A1 by A2. That is called log R by 4R whole by log A by 2A. That implies n equal to log 1 by 4 by log 1 by 2. N equal to log 1 by 2 whole to the power of 2 by log 1 by 2. Where n equal to 2 log of by log of. This log of get cancelled. Then n equal to 2. Means it is a second order reaction. Actually, in the second order reaction, the half-life period is inversely proportional to the initial concentration of the reactants. Means generally the rate is directly proportional to the concentration of the reactants whole to the power of 2. If the reaction is doubled, the concentration of reactants is doubled, the rate is increased by 4 times. Means that is, if it is doubled means rate is directly proportional to 2 to the power of 2, that equal to 4 times. Therefore, it is a second order reaction. The same problem in concentration of reactants increased by 2 times, the reaction is increased by 8 times. Then find the order of the reaction. First, initial concentration A1 equal to A. Final concentration, the final concentration A2 equal to 2A. If R1 equal to R, R2 is equal to 8R. Find the n value here. Same, that is n equal to log R1 by R2 by log A1 by A2. That implies n equal to log R by 8R by log A by 2A. That is log 1 by 2 whole to the power of 3 by log 1 by 2, or 3 log 1 by 2 by log 1 by 2 equal to n. Therefore, n equal to 3. Hence, it is a third order reaction. Means here in the third order reaction, the rate is directly proportional to the 3 times power 3 of the initial concentration of the reactant. If the rate is doubled, means the rate is the concentration is doubled, rate increased by 8 times, means that is 2 to the power of 3. 2 to the power of 3 equal to 2 into 2 into 2, that is 8. Therefore, it is a third order reaction. Next, if temperature is raised from 27 degrees centigrade to 37, the rate of reaction becomes double. Calculate the activation energy of the reaction. Based on the temperature effect on rate of the reaction, then the relation between the specific rate constants and temperature is log K2 by K1 equal to EA by 2.303 R into T2 minus T1 by T1 T2. Substitute the value. T1 is 300 degree, 27 degree centigrade, that implies 300 degree Kelvin. T2 equal to 37 degree centigrade equal to 310 degree Kelvin. Here EA equal to 2.303 R into T1 T2 by T2 minus T1 into log K2 by K1. That is EA equal to 2.303 into 8.314 into 300 into 310 by 10 into log 2. That equal to 2.303 into 8.314 into 300 into 31 into 0.3010. That equal to 53,420 joules or 53.42 kilojoules. That is the temperature effect on rate of the reaction, calculation of the activation energy. Thank you.